Hello, all guys. Hope you can see me and can hear. Drop a plus in the chat if everything is fine. The sound, the video, and so on. So yeah, if everything is good, so drop a plus. Okay. I see first pluses. That's great. Oh, let me speak more so you can double check, right? So I want to say welcome, just welcome. We'll get started just in a sec. Let's wait 10 seconds while others join it. Okay, I see. Great. So it's Thursday. That's, strange part of the week when your brain thinks it's Friday, but your calendar brutally reminds you that it's not. Still, it's not. The Friday is only tomorrow. And I I hope that anyone also has this feeling, or maybe just me. I don't know. Anyone? Okay. And I hope that you've got something warm for you, like tea, coffee, or maybe a very ambitious smoothie. I don't know what that can be. Personally, here I have some tea that used to be tea. Let it be with that. So, yeah, if you're watching this after work, so my congrats on surviving another working day. If you're watching it in the middle of your work day, I mean, that also happens. Why not? Well, this counts as productivity. That's a bit. I hope. Hello, world. Okay, that's fun. Good. So let's dive in. Today, the topic is something that happens every day at work, but that isn't always easy to get. Easy to get right, I would say so, especially in English. And this is team communication. If you've ever thought like, how do I ask for help without sounding too pushy? Or what a polite way to remind someone about the task? Or how do I set boundaries in English without sounding rude or something like that? So I want to say that you are in the right place. And today we'll talk about how to set expectations clearly with the team, collaborate on tasks and deadlines, also how to communicate blockers and delays, something that's connected to the previous session that we had with you, and how to sound confident and polite at the same time. And I want you to notice that this isn't about sounding perfect. It's about sounding clear, human, and helpful. So I hope that finally we can start. And we'll start with this one. Yeah? Oh, yeah. So let's be honest. And I want to be honest with you that most developers and most IT guys, ladies, they don't think of communication as a core tech skill. But the longer you work in tech, the more clear it becomes that communication issues break things just as often as bad codes. So let's look at the small but mostly real life examples. Here we have misconfig rename, release simple by 48 hours. So here's what happened. Yeah. So backend dev renamed a config file. They didn't update the documentation. And they didn't mention it in a daily meeting or daily stand up. And they didn't pay anyone. And front end devs couldn't connect it to the API. QA test failed, and no one knew why until someone figured out that the config changed and 2 days lost. And this is not an exception. This is not just the imaginary situation. According to some research, that was the research that Atlassian's at 2023 States of Team report, teams lose around 9 hours per sprint because of unclear, incomplete, or misaligned, misunderstood communication. That's more than one full workday lost. And not because of technical blockers, but because of these communication gaps. And it's not just about wasted time, right? It's about what gets impacted. First of all, that's going to be your time, because the deadline slips, since team members don't have like info they need when they need it, so small delays snowball. Also quality, because tasks get done based on old assumptions or unclear requirements. Sorry, living in Kharkiv is tough. And features get reworked. So here, there is where bug appear. And 3, it's trust. I want to say it. Because if people on your team don't know what they're doing, or your updates are vague, they may assume that you are not working at all. And when the clients or stakeholders get surprised by last-minute issues, it erodes just confidence that fast. And here's the key point. None of this is about language level. I want you to remember that. It's not about using perfect English. It's about being clear, specific, and proactive, even with simple words. So when we say team communication, we're not talking about writing novels in Slack. We mean, first of all, giving timely updates about what you've done and what your blockers are. Then asking for help not early 3 days of being stuck. Then being clear about expectations. For example, I will do this by Friday if we get the data on time. And also, that's about letting people know if something changed that will affect their job, their work. In short, good communication protects team time, keeps code quality high, and builds trust. And the good news that I want to share with you, that these skills can be learned. And that's exactly what we are doing today, finally. Yeah, so here we go. Let's talk about something that's causes a low-key chaos in team, not choosing the right communication channel. I mean, that happens. Why not? That's our true life. And sometimes the issue isn't what you say, but it's how and where you say it. There are 2 main types of team communication. That's real time, like sync, and documented, like async, we call it. And sync, if we're talking about this one, it's like Zoom call, Google Meet call, Slack huddle. I mean, where you interact instantly. Async, like Jira comment, like Git comment message, so where the person can respond a bit later. So when do we need to use what specifically? Let's say that you're blocked and it's holding up the release. You shouldn't wait. Just jump on a quick call, and some goes for pair programming or debugging together, and that's what real time is for. But if you're explaining why a fix was made or asking for a review on a pull request, do it in writing. That way, it's documented, searchable, and the rest of the team can catch up when they're online. That is async. And now, a few simple but still powerful guidelines to keep in mind to keep your team sane. First of all, the 2-minute rule. You see it here on my slide. If it takes more than 2 minutes to type, just hop on a call. Don't try to write an essay on your Slack. Don't do this. The next one is keep the convo in one thread. If you're on Jira, comment there. If you're in Slack, don't scatter replies across DMAs, threads, or slide channels. It creates black holes for information. And also, always post a recap. After a meeting or call, drop at least one sentence in the ticket. Something like, agreed to change button label to confirm order in PR/215. It takes no more than 10 seconds, but it saves 2 hours later when no one remembers what was decided. And one final thing, Do not confuse speed with clarity, because a fast answer in the wrong place or without context can slow your team down even more than no answer at all. So I want you to get some active, and I will ask you to type 1 in the chat if your team works mostly in real time. So sync lots of calls, meetings, and so on. And type 2 if it's mostly async, like threads, comments, updates. So let's see, where is everyone at? 1, 2. Again, 1, it's when you have lots of calls every day, so it's sync. And 2, if it's mostly async, like communication in the chats and so on. Okay, I see. There's 1. Both. Yeah, so the hybrid, so the combination, yeah? Mm-hmm. I see some people every time I meet you here. This is lovely. Good. What about other guys? Do you have the same stuff? 1 or 1 and 2? Oh, so. Okay. And this is another question to distinguish and to discuss. I mean, whether we really need these things or when we don't need them and when it is async. So this is 2. Okay. So I see. Let's move on. And again, my favorite word for today's session is today's phrase, let's be honest. So let's be honest. Deadlines often feel like something you just have to accept and you just have to live with it. But in reality, most deadlines, they are negotiable if you know how to ask the right questions. So this triangle you see here, like scope, time, and resources, is the foundation of every project plan. It's something that's called the project management triangle. If one side changes, the others need to be adjusted, so also changed accordingly. So if someone asks you to add features, and it's going to be scope, but the timeline stays fixed and there is no extra help, something's going to give. Something's going to fail. So when you are negotiating deadlines, you don't just say, that's not possible. You make the trade-off visible. So let's break it down using this decision checklist on the right that you see. Is the date fixed? Then you probably need to reduce scope or ask for extra support if it's not fixed. The next question, is the scope fixed? Then the timeline needs to stretch, or again, ask for more people. And always state the trade-off clearly. Like, we can do this by Friday, but we will need to drop feature X or simplify Y. And that leads us to the language side of things, how to say it without sounding negative or, confrontational. And here we can use phrases like that, like, given the scope, we need 2 days, extra 2 days. Or to keep Friday, can we drop feature X? Or can we drop this one? Can we change this one? Or what's the critical path for the MVP? And that last one is great when you are unsure what absolutely must be delivered and what's negotiable, when you're just unsure about that. And what's important is not just being polite or just good, it's being clear and really solution focused. So you're not rejecting the deadline, you're inviting a conversation around what's realistic. And trust me, managers prefer this kind of clarity over this vague optimism, like, yeah, we'll do it together, of course. And that breaks the cycle, and that brings the misalignment in team communication. Okay, hope we are good here. Let's see what we got there. Oh, distributing tasks clearly. Sounds super simple, I guess, but causes so much drama even more drama than it should, actually. This is task ownership. So I hope that you've all been in this situation that you finish your parts and you assume that someone else knows what to do next. Then 3 days later, someone says like, oh, wait, wasn't that supposed to be tested? Oh, I thought that you were doing it. I mean, this is just the classical situation. And to avoid it, we use the lightweight, that's called the RACI ownership model, RACI. And don't worry here, no Excel nightmares, just 4 roles. So first, responsible. So the person who actually does the task. For example, I implemented the login form. Then accountable, the person who approves or merges it. For example, my tech lead reviewed and merged it. Then consulted, people who give input. For example, the UX designer reviewed the UI, QA checked the edge cases, and so on. And informed, those who need to stay in the loop. For example, the PM and client were notified via Jira. So you don't need to announce these roles every day, but you do need to make it obvious in your updates. So let's see how it will sound in the real life. Yeah, here's the examples. For example, feature X is ready for QA. Move the car to testing. Test cases are linked in the ticket. So that's a dev handing something of clarity. And QA might reply, you can see here, test passed on staging, moving to done, tagging PM for visibility. Simple. I think that you agree that that's simple because it is, but it tells everyone what's done, what's next, who's involved. And now let's talk tone. Sometimes people write updates. Sometimes people write updates like, please test this ASAP. That sounds like a command, not a team. Instead, we will go for sending this to QA. Let me know if you need anything from my side. Something like that. Or you tag someone like Mary, tagging you for DB check. Does this meet our criteria? It's the difference between I'm delegating and I'm collaborating. And here, I want you to summarize it once again, like take a photo with your eyes with this RACI ownership and be able to apply in the real life scenarios that you face. I hope that you face them every day. I know that. So the final thought that I want to highlight here for you. If people often ping you back with, what does it mean? Or is this done? Or are you ready? It's probably a sign your hands-off need turning. It's probably a sign that you need to get some sets for RACI ownership. It's a sign that you have to try implementing it. Yeah, love it. Okay, and let's talk about one of the most underrated skills. It's writing clear daily updates. If I'm not mistaken, we covered this topic in some lesson, but let's revise it. So imagine that you are in a stand-up or leaving a message for your team on Slack, and you might be tempted like to write something, still working on API, or fix login bug. And technically true, but that's completely useless. You can ask me why. I mean, I just informed them because no one knows what you actually did and what's left or whatever you need help. And here you can see the better version of this slide. So instead of still working on API, you can add at points coded, writing tests ETA 2 hour, blocked by auth token. So that's just sharper. What's done, what's in progress, what's blocking, what's the ETA. These aren't status reports. This is communication. And your updates shape how your team sees you. Are you reliable? Are you proactive? Are you organized? And same with fix the login bug. So instead, yeah, fixed, that's good. Let's go. You can say login error, null token fixed in Alt GC, ready for queue and branch, bug login 401. Yeah, you see it. That's short, that's precise, that's testable. So the same, we can speak about need review. Which review? What are you talking about? Yeah. But if we tackle it a bit, not simplifying, but specifying what exactly you're talking about, tagging particular people that from who you need this help. This is where the clear communication and concise communication starts. And see here, of course, some useful phrases that can help you to get these blockers to speak more clearly. So yeah. So I think I spoke that much. So let's practice a bit. Imagine this, you're in sprint. So feature B looks simple, but surprised. You're now 40% overestimate. And the result, still set for Friday. Yeah, so that's what happens all the time. And that's exactly what we are practicing now. Take a look at the screen. I want you to type one clear sentence in the chat, something that you would say in the real work chat to suggest a solution. Yeah, again, here you see the situation. Here you can see what exactly you can post. For instance, you can suggest extending time, you can cut the scope, you can add help, ask for help, suggest help, anything. And here are the phrases that you can use. For example, you may say, oh, to stay on track, can we skip validation for now and add it post-release? Something like that. So take your time and please drop in the chat so I can read it, I can comment on it. Let's see how you can handle it under pressure, but still, that must be professional, right? Well, that's the most important, sounding professional. Sometimes there's tough, but still. Okay, I see from what was one. If you can provide a screenshot or a more detailed description of the message or problem, I can help you more effectively. Okay, I see. I'm trying to figure out just a second what's going on. Okay. You can provide a screenshot and more detailed description of the message or problem can help more effectively. Okay, if this is the question to me, unfortunately, no, this is all I have. If this is the question or request for the person who was about to solve this issue, so yeah, that's possible. Maybe if you can provide sounds a bit long, that's too wordy. You can say, please provide a screenshot and a more detailed description so I can help you, so I can understand your problem, so I can get your problem. Yeah. So again, do not sound too wordy. Let's try to sound more specific and clearer. What about other guys? Are you getting it? Okay, you can still take your time. But whilst you're writing or dropping, I can suggest you my own examples, maybe. So, yeah, I spoke about the validation. We can skip this part. Why not? Also, you can say, we'll need it until Tuesday unless someone from backend can jump in. So yeah, suggesting help, asking for help, right? So that can be also a game changer. Or even this, like ETA is slipping. Can we discuss this scope in this for MVP? So one of the possible ways to extend it. So okay. I got the one from Vadim. Oh, give me some time to read it. Oh my gosh, the answers I get. Lovely. So the team is still working on TA at the end of the week. We'll update the Jira with all the details. You won't believe me. I don't have anything to comment on. This is so great. Let me just focus on it once again. So the team. Yeah, I love the structure. I love it. So here we see that you clearly mentioned the task, ETA, next step. That's great. Maybe one thing that you may improve, like, are there any blockers? Maybe mention it, or like just drop in no blockers, no issues. Or if no issues, let's be. We'll update the Jira. And what kind of update will be added to Jira? That's also, so even one extra detail, like currently testing the deployment script that will make the update a bit clearer. But still, that is super great. I love it. The next one, Sergey, I see you. I was wrong in estimating the ticket. Okay, I was wrong in estimating the ticket because missed the issue with value validation. So should I skip this part? Or I need an additional day for finishing. Okay. What I see here actually, I like that you explain the reason, value validation. You also, what I was like, wow, that you acknowledged the estimation mistake. Like, yeah, we're wrong with the estimation. And here, you actually raised a clear question about the next steps, like, so should I skip the part or I need an extra day for finishing? Good. Maybe instead of should I skip this part, you can clarify a bit with other phrasing. Just give me a sec. A bit with other phrasing. Maybe you can say, I can either skip that part and deliver a partial solution, or I can either do this or take one more day to complete it fully. And then call to action. You need to ask it like, what would you recommend? Something like that. But it still sounds good. I still love it. Okay. Olha, I see it from you. To finish this task on time. Grammatically, it's right. Can we move task with low priority to the next sprint? Okay. What I like here, you show your awareness of the priorities of this project. Yeah. I like that you're also offering the solution, and the solution actually sounds realistic. And that's good that you also frame it as a question. Why it's good? Why I say it's good? Because it invites collaboration. So you don't make a demand, but you invite collaboration. That's good. What can we do to make it stronger? On time. I would say that maybe there will be good to specify which particular task you're talking about, like XYZ and XYY to the next sprint. Yeah. Or maybe to say, let me just look at the sentence once again. Yeah, maybe to stay on track with the deadlines. Would it make sense to descope lower priority items and move them to the next sprint? So descope lower priority items, because I'm sure that if we're speaking in the context, that's understandable what low priority items you mean. But that's still assertive. I love it. And Christina, long time no see. I'm blocked by, let me see, blocked by integration tasks. Need help from then to stay on track. First of all, the blocker, integration test, then specify who you need help from. That's done. And I like that you highlight this urgency, without showing that much of the pressure. So just to stay on track, not just, hey, I need it now, but I need it because we have to stay on track. We need to stay on track. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. Blocked by need help from Dan to stay on track. Maybe just to add some call to action in the end, like, hey, Dan, tag him. Could you jump on a quick call now? Something like that. But that still looks good. Okay. Evening. Okay. Thank you, guys. I was impressed. That was impressive, really. So we covered a lot today. How to choose the right communication channel, how to push back on deadlines respectfully, how to speak about your blockers, how to give clear and daily updates. And all of these are simple in theory. That's why what I'm talking about, you have to implement this knowledge in practice. You have to go and start working and start implementing all these phrases that I showed to you, like here, these ones, and these ones in practice. So go and try practicing. And here, I want you to share with me, which skill will you apply first? You may just drop a number like 1, 2, 3 or something like that. So choosing the right channel, negotiating deadlines, or is it clear daily updates? So which skill do you want to practice more? Again, you can drop whether 1, 2, 3, or maybe you can write something that you personally want to practice, and I didn't mention it here. I will be waiting. Still. So is it 1, 2, or 3? Two, negotiating deadlines. My personal opinion, that's one of the most difficult skills, because you need to be able to negotiate it precisely and in a concise way, both to your team and to the stakeholder clients and so on. That's why you're absolutely right that you're focusing on this one. Okay. Other guys, any ideas? If no, that's totally fine. Take your time. How many years? Like more than 10, about. So yeah. 2. Again, we're talking about negotiating deadlines. Good. One of the most difficult skills. Absolutely agree with you. Okay. Lovely. So, guys, I want to say thank you for being actually active today. Really, I didn't expect so because it's Thursday, anyway. But thank you so much. And I hope that you will apply this knowledge into practice and all these phrases and you start doing it from today's evening. So have a nice, productive Friday tomorrow and see you soon. So bye all. See you.